What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the EU4 Thanos Snap AI only battle. It's episode 3. Lots is going down. I think Provence is about to be ripped in half by neithers or nevers. I don't know how to say it. I assume there's some weird Frenchy way of saying it. But neithers got nothing. And Brittany did take a little bit. I don't know if that will put them on the Great Powers list. Just into 8th place. Caraman is the surprising only new addition to that list from the last time we checked, or their first time on it. We did see them have quite a successful war, but that's an issue for them. Some separatists from Dulkadir, who are actually still around. The Dulkadir separatists are stronger than Dulkadir. The funny thing is, I think if they succeed, the new Dulkadir doesn't even get the 23 stack. That's quite ironic. Oh, Athens were doing great. Wait, what happened here? They were here. I assume their colonist died or whatever, or they just stopped. It can happen. I've experienced it. It's been on the wrong side of that before. I don't know who the knights... Are they teamed up? Attack it against the Papal State in the Venetian conquest. What? That makes no sense to me. Holy moly. Is that one war? That's very confusing. Here it's this one. Nope. Okay, no, there's this one as well. Okay, that makes sense. There's two. Brabant attacked Provence and called in Utrecht, Friesland and Aachen. Navarra, Siena, Venice. Okay, this defensive team is overpowered. That team's got it in the bag. Venice, Siena, and the Knights attacked the Papal State, and Athens joined in. The Papal State, I would say, would be okay. They look pretty big, but obviously Venice is doing really well. And yeah, that's going to suck for Athens, I'm afraid. Siena's also an issue for the Papal State. Yeah, I think Venice are quite strong, so that might be a pain. And the Knights just lost that battle, so maybe it's going to be okay. These guys are slowly growing, which is kind of cool to see. Crimea's keeping themselves very quiet. I mean, they are actually at war with Genoa right now. Ah, you on a team with Moldavia? What's going on there? No. Okay, so that 30 stack is bad. And I don't even see a Crimean army anymore. Oh, it's over there. Okay. 20 stacks. So yeah, Crimea should lose. So that's... Sorry guys, bigged you up and then look and you're going to lose. Sorry. Try and avoid that. Britain, this is actually really important. I've been trying... I know we've looked at it a lot, but like there's so much development available here. Like, you know, the UK with just the British Isles can find themselves on the Great Powers list. So if someone was to get all of this, that would be very, very big for them. And whether or not they hold on to their land in this mess will not matter. Some of them can't even colonize anymore. It's quite brutal. They've got no like borders. I mean, at least on the border, I think you can just go anywhere. Oh, Provence is going to die again. If Brabant takes all of this, that would be quite impressive. They're probably not, because it's merged with that Venice war. Looks like it seems to have pieced out a little bit. The Venice font looks a bit thicker. Yeah, Crimea is going to suffer here. Genoa might take all of this. That's going to suck. Oh, God. Transoxiana, a little bit of a win. Fars are in a war with Hormuz. Delhi is doing something because their army's not inside their own land. Oh, some Korean separatists. Are you serious? Like there's one province. Leave them alone. But yeah, both these Japan nations still pretty strong. I'm surprised. They're like good for technology. Like what's going on? 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. What's it like over here? 6, 8, 7. Is Japan always good at tech? Am I missing something? Or is everyone just really good at tech in this mod? I don't know. Technology. It's green over there. It's orange. And then Japan is yellow. Okay, fine. Korea's kept up to date somehow. Some of them just doing really well, I guess. Yeah, down here they're not doing as well. Ethiopia's doing okay too. Compared to even... How is Sweden doing that back? Sweden's not even doing well. What? I assume it's all red over here. Yes, everyone is in the red. Not what you want, if you're one of them. Ideal for the future colonizers of the world, though, so bear that in mind. Serbia's just slowly growing. They've avoided Venice for a little while, so that's sort of letting them grow in this little region. They've not really grabbed anything too near to Venice either, so that will probably help. Venice... I could see Venice forming Italy and being really scary, because if they take out the Papal State, there's not going to be much to stop them in Italy. The HRE is still strong, but with no Austria to sort of like bring them all together when they do the whole group team up thing, it's not as strong. Like, the threats aren't as big when it's not coming from an Austria. I don't even know who it is right now. It is Saxony. I mean, they're okay, but they're not. I mean, actually, they probably could beat Venice in a war, funnily enough, right now. But yeah, I mean, Italy is probably going to leave the HRE at some point if they haven't already. Okay, they already have, so you can just take out the Papal State by yourself if you're willing to bear with the excommunications, stuff like that. I assume they might be the Pope. Oh, sorry, the Papal State is the Pope normally, not always. So that might not be the case. I can't actually see that one. Can I see the HRE, not the papacy? Don't know why. Bit weird. Whatever. Provence did lose a little bit to Brabant, but not everything. It's cool to see them doing well. A lot of these guys have 20 stacks. That's impressive. I'm not expecting that much from them. Oh, big war in North Africa. Granada could do really well if they get North Africa and something solid in Iberia. That's really good for them. Obviously, everyone is just trying to take little bits of it, which can make it very hard to unite. Brittany's here now, Navarra, obviously Florence, Savoy and Genoa. That's going to be very difficult, but Granada is just here. I'm sure they'll be causing some trouble. Venice took a huge chunk out of the Papal State. I think that's first place wrapped up for a little while longer. Yep, they're miles ahead. Genoa's doing very well as well. But obviously, there you go. But they are very spread out across the map. So we'll see. But I'm sure Sweden and Norway as well, have a good chance of catching up. I don't think it's going to last. It's very early days. It's, we go to 1821. It's currently 1503. Papal State now suffering with some rebels, some heretics. Good job. You need a new ally. Athens is still okay. They got away, I think, scot-free. They didn't have any of these islands before. And they still kept their alliance. So they just need to find somebody else who's good. Because, the Knights betrayed them a second ago. Mantua and the Papal State. I mean, Mantua is not bad. But if they're not allied to the Papal State, it doesn't really work. That little triangle. And you lost this province. It would have been nice to connect that. But yeah, as long as they've got Constantinople, I guess that's something. That's a small glimmer of hope. Oh, Crimea and Genoa. You're not ready for that way. Oh, Kazan is going to take all of Ryazan. That's going to be a lot of development. I don't know where Moscow is. I was looking when we did all those developed provinces. I assume Moscow. Yes, 17. It's Ryazan. That's not good. But Kazan, we'll grab that. Does that shoot them onto the list? Yep, straight into 6th. These wars have such a big impact. Like in normal EU4, they don't normally. It takes a while. Got to do a few wars to really move up that list, but in this one, nope, just quick wars, done, and you're up there. Which just shows how equal a lot of these countries are at the moment. And there's so many. I don't think Venice is like guaranteed the victory by any means. I'm sure there's going to be some. I mean, Venice is almost soon going to have to, assuming Serbia doesn't completely disintegrate. There's a good chance Venice will just have to fight wars. Like, they are still colonizing, which is pretty scary. But eventually, even Venice will run out of options and will have to fight wars to expand. Some of these nations won't suffer from that. Same goes for someone who gets strong in Iberia. Someone out this way has still got a little bit more to gain. Sweden can still colonize more. There's advantages to those guys. Venice may actually be okay. Maybe. Oh, they're in another war, though. With Mantua this time. And this time, see, that's a little bit harder for Venice. They have Siena, but Savoy, Athens, not on their team this time. Mantua, Baden is in there as well. That's going to be a little bit harder. Attack it against Mantua, and yeah, Venice is losing. We probably want Venice to slow down a little bit, so that's fine. Maybe they got a bit confident. A bit overconfident. Loving this Frisian Britain. Just slowly working along. They're about to grab another province, actually. I wonder if any of them will go for 2 settlers. That would be quite exciting. Okay, that's not going to work. Fine. This is nearly done. I assume they'll go for another province. These guys are sort of cut off this bit. I assume Brabant will get Somerset there. Final provinces disappearing. Actually, East Frisia going for 2. No, they've already got that one. Going for this one now. And there we go, yeah. So So it's starting to fill up. No one wants Wales, obviously. Don't know. Normally I'd make some sort of joke, but I'm not in the... I don't know. I haven't got anything on the tip of my tongue. None of these nations obviously interested in sheep. That's it, really. Sheep was obviously not a valuable resource in the 1500s. Right, Teutonic Order. How are you doing? I'm rooting on you to win this game. No offense, no pressure. Or Prussia if you go on to form them. Either one. Did you get Berlin? No, these guys got Berlin. Lüneburg. They're doing pretty well. Allied with Sweden, Cologne, Saxony and Lubeck. But that looks scary on the map. Yeah, look at that. Okay, well, that's already an uphill battle for my guys here, the Teutonic Order. Dang. Lüneburg, Cologne and Saxony all allied to each other as well. Little brutal friendship going on. I feel like Venice is still going to win this somehow. They have a 40 stack. That is pretty scary. Savoy's going to lose. Yep. No, they won. No idea how. We'll move on from that. What's going on over here? India's still a mess. Just sort of waiting for the powers to emerge. These guys growing quite a bit. They took a chunk out of the Champa. I think they're allied to these yellow ones. So don't worry about that. The Pagaruyung. That's not an easy pronunciation. Arakan. I have no idea who that is. Their other alliance. Oh, it's these guys. Hello. 3 provinces. Fair enough. I mean, compared to some of these others, that's not that bad. As long as you're allied to the Thailand nation, it's fine. They're really strong. Mong Mao. Cool name. Pegu, Mong Pai, and Mong Mao. And Mong Yang. All border each other. Fair enough. Some great names coming out of this region. Oh, not your day, is it? Oh, nearly. No, they survived a little bit. Tiny little bit. Oh, the purple Japanese nation is almost completely gone. Ashikaga. This one emerging as the real strongest ones, and they're attacking the Ryu. Oh, poor Ryukyu. Do they deserve this? Where even is Ryukyu? It's below Japan. Oh yeah, they are definitely gonna lose. Here, Okinawa. That sucks. You're gonna lose that. But it's kind of cool seeing this Japanese nation do so well so early on. In fact, it's 3 Asian nations putting the pressure on Venice at the top. And actually, Delhi would be above them, and so would Thailand if they embraced the institution. Delhi just climbed into 2nd place. Oh no. Wait, how did Japan gain land and still the thing moved? Oh, maybe Japan overtook, but no, Delhi's in 2nd. I'm lost. Oh, it looks like they both took land at the same time. Delhi just took a lot more by the look of it. They're looking very strong in India right now. Fars connected their land and it looks gross. It's not border gore, it's just really thin and straggly. Genoa really struggling at separatists. Oh, Sweden v the Lithuanian Order and Teutonic Order. Who's fighting that one? Oof, this was literally my worst nightmare for them to win. Although that said, Cologne and Saxony aren't in there. At the moment, the Teutonic Order is winning. Yeah, you go, guys. I'm not sure they can take anything out of the HRE though, without some negative consequences. So maybe avoid that, please. I want to pick a winner for once. Nice little yawn. It's late. Netflix. That's all. No, I was just... What was I doing? I was waiting for something else to see if it did happen, and it didn't happen. That's why I've left this video till quite late at night to record it. Sorry for the yawn. Moldavia fighting back? No. Oh. Well, that's an issue. 27k separatists. I'm surprised these guys have beaten Sweden, to be honest. That's quite impressive. Very impressive. Utrecht is grabbing more and more provinces in actual France. Or not France, wherever they are. Dutch regions, France. Well, this is France. So that's pretty useful for them. There's still a few more provinces to go. Not many. Not many at all. Little slivers. This is the probably most congested region of the map. I mean, Italy is almost full. There's 1 province left. I think the Papal State would be going for it if they weren't sort of... Oh, they're going for another one already. So, oh, Florence v Siena. Florence could be like a dark horse. Like, they could just sort of escape Italy anyway. So the fact that they don't even... They have Pisa. They don't have the province of Florence. Firenze. It seems like poor old Mantua got split in half. So Venice obviously won again. That's a pretty scary start from Venice. They are looking pretty good. See, I've had all these bad campaigns. I've had 2 series trying to play Venice. Both went horribly wrong. One went longer than the other. I think I got 10 episodes first time. I got like 27 the second time. And, okay. Well, about time to restart. Wait an hour. That's really good timing. Hopefully that didn't mess up anything. Nope, it says we're still recording. There you go. That was fun. There's no need to cut that. That's just comedic brilliance, really. I was a bit worried then. I thought the game had crashed. I was like, this early? Are you serious? This series is doing so well. And it's running so fast as well. I was like, what? Like, why? But no, it wasn't a crash as such. Oop, there was a peace deal. Teutonic Order did grab some land. Mecklenburg seemed to lose out a bit too. And that's somebody's separate peace, which means they can now chomp into Sweden. That would be an upset, because I think Sweden is probably the overwhelming favourite in the picks. I think for every pick there is, someone else has picked Sweden. So like if there's, I don't know exactly how many picks there was. Say there was 5 picks for other countries, then there'll be 5 for Sweden. Like there was a lot for Sweden basically. Any newcomers climbing the list? No, I think all these guys have been on there at some point before. Genoa in 5th. Not sure how long they'll hold on to it. They're actually fighting back at the moment. Kazan, Transoxiana's been sort of dripping on and off. They look very strong. With no Timurids as well, these guys are going to be able to grab a lot of land. Obviously, no Ottomans is the big one. So Karaman, if they can replace the Ottomans, that would be huge. But if Venice sort of replaces them, that's an issue. Serbia just doing what they need to do. They just need to keep growing so that they can put up a fight against Venice. Between all the Venice neighbours, I think some of them are getting to a point they are strong enough. Salzburg's strong. Savoy will be strong. One of these two is eventually going to be really strong. Brittany and Nevers. Switzerland's okay as well. Like, they've all got 20 stacks. Serbia doesn't. Athens doesn't. But, you know, they'll be strong eventually, hopefully. The Papal State were. I'm sure they'll recover. So, yeah, as long as 2 of them team up against Venice, a minimum of 2 of them, they should be okay. Whether they can pull that off, different story. Plus, Ulm is still alive, or Ulm. They're like gods at this game. If you're new, haven't watched it before, I'm sure they will find a way. I think they're a meme. I'm not really familiar with it. Not too into like the forums, that sort of stuff, where people talk about this kind of stuff. But I think Ulm is a meme of sorts. Oh, Morocco's here. Someone must have formed Morocco, or they just got emerged. I don't know. But Morocco's here. Whoa. Who is this? There isn't. Okay. Carib. I think these guys did get colonists too, so they are a lot bigger than normal, but I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. They still got very... Yeah, look at North America. Wow. Sadly, I mean, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for the Europeans. Just they're going to have to fight their way through instead of just colonizing as such. But yeah, not going to be super easy. I don't know when the colonization will start. I imagine it'll be a bit later. 1, because they're still focused on European provinces. And then 2, they're just not as strong, so they probably can't afford it and send the boats over. But I'm sure it will happen. There's still plenty of land available. I'm sure it will happen soon. Don't really know who would be first. Florence and Brittany are probably the sort of 2 to keep your eye on. Florence is more of a random guess. They just might be the sort of country that goes, yeah, let's do it for a laugh, even though all of Spain is still open. And Brittany, I don't know. Why not? They seem pretty strong, and they're out this way. They're the most solid nation. Don't know where their army is. Assume it's busy fighting a war somewhere. Is that Venice? Jeez, you guys just can't stay out of wars, can you? Defender against Brabant. Uh-oh. Oof, that looks... So Venice is basically trying to save Provence, Navarra and co, because that's a pretty scary sort of coast in parts of Britain. 0 war scores so far. It was the second war, so obviously they're really trying for that one. Lithuanian Order took a bit out of Sweden. Don't think it made them a great power. No. The list hasn't actually changed. Savoy is still on there. Surprisingly. They're just sort of under the radar doing quite well. Surprised Nevers have not been on it once yet. Obviously not doing as well as it looks. I'm sure over time... Oh, Athens once again reconnecting. Trying again. Serbia's still growing. See their borders change a little bit. Very nice. No, nothing from Kazan. Thought they might... Whoa, Uzbek look really big. Obviously these provinces not so valuable, so it's not the end of the world. Like, Kazan is way stronger. Same goes for Perm. Like, I thought this was Wasteland. That is Wasteland. They've just been given it. It doesn't count for anything. You might see Wasteland if you're, again, not familiar with EU4. A lot of this land here, Wasteland, you can't walk through it. But if you own enough of sort of the provinces around it, it will change to your colour. It doesn't contribute anything. That's what's happened up there. Maybe up here as well? No. But this definitely, here you can see it says Wasteland. That's basically, I don't know if there's a red line. Normally there's a red line. No, it's just this area, Nanets. Yeah, that's just because Perm owns enough of the border. They just get it for free basically, but it doesn't provide anything. If you are new, if you are very familiar with EU4, there's probably loads of things I also missed out about it in there, which you can be annoyed about. Oh, Provence might grab some more. East Frisia, that's so cool. Their name is looking so big, and it's not even where their land started. It's quite funny. Ireland's still not been united. I imagine it will be between one of them. Okay, well, Tyrone's going to struggle here because they're against like all the nations that form Scotland, one of which is Norway, who are quite strong. I imagine if Thomond can get all the provinces, they will be able to form Ireland. I don't think it's particularly difficult. You might need an admin level of like 10. Apart from that, I don't think it's too difficult. Yeah, that should be doable. I know someone picked Ireland. Like, normally, like, if I was going to be strict, I'd be like, you'd have to pick the Irish minor as well, but I'm not too bothered. Like, this can be a bit of a fun game. I really don't expect anyone to pick the winner. Unless, yeah, I mean, obviously Sweden definitely could win, but I don't know. I feel like there's just so much that's going to change. It's going to be such a weird game. Without all the normal, really strong nations, I think things are going to just get really weird. And I imagine we will see some of them pop up at some point. Swedish peasants. Not good for Sweden. I was going to make a joke about that just being all of them. Wasn't like, how are the peasants any different to the normal people in charge of Sweden? But obviously, that'd be a bit harsh right now. They're struggling. Yeah, I didn't have the wording quite right in my head, so I didn't want to go for it. Venice has 45,000 boats. No, sorry, 45 boats, not 45,000. Okay, Japan's formed. That's pretty big. Whoa, and they're huge. Okay, if Japan can keep this up, then they will definitely compete. And obviously all of Ming's land is free. There's a few other nations here grabbing little bits of it at the moment. But yeah, this is all available to Japan, who I assume have a colonist as well. But so far and also they have land here already, which makes it much easier for them. Korea's in a war. This is looking really good for Japan. That's pretty impressive. They are third at the moment. They do have an institution to embrace. Most of them do. Only 3 Europeans on the list. Depends what you count Kazan as, I guess. They're 8. I guess they're sort of European. I don't know. Maybe not. But Savoy, Genoa, Venice, all sort of Italian, northern Italian, or French. And Genoa's obviously Italian, but they have just everything at the moment. They have a little bit of Spain, some islands, Napoli, this little bit of land, and then obviously quite a bit over here. That's going to be painful, and a bit of Turkey. That's going to be quite difficult to manage, I would assume. But I'm sure Genoa's like built for that. That's like their one thing they're good at, so I'm sure they will have it all under control, keep it going well. Zoom out, see how the whole world's just sort of coming along. How the gaps are being plugged that have popped up. Oh, Delhi struggling a bit, maybe? Probably not. They're probably just not paying much attention. Yeah, that's not. They're probably fine. It's just they let the army slip past and they're probably sieging, so they don't want to move away. South America still very open. A lot of wasteland in there though. North America's filled up much quicker than expected. I think even Africa they do have colonists. Again, whether they can afford it, but I think that is a thing. So we will see the map just fill up much quicker than usual Well, I say that, obviously some areas are still, like, normally China would not be open, so it's kind of hard to judge whether it's filling up quicker. Like, Spain is still completely open for the taking. These guys are all too busy fighting each other, though, so we probably won't see anyone emerge on top just yet. Brabant is growing quite well. That's pretty interesting. All of this land, maybe they're throwing their name in the hat to be the France, and yet they're the newest member of the Great Powers list. They've not been on there until now, and now all of a sudden 7th place. I love that list. It's just it makes it so easy for me to like access it and just judge who's winning, and it's already collated it in. Well, it's only based on development, but that's a pretty useful stat, to be honest. Development and then adjusted for technology. That's a pretty, it's pretty useful all round. I wish I'd picked Japan now. just like, yeah, I wish I'd gone for Japan. Dealing with their rebels, nice and easy for them. They did that with low maintenance, or maybe they switched it just automatically. Didn't forget, like a human player would. A certain human player. Whoa, I clicked away as soon as there was a giant peace deal. Yeah, Korea lost loads to these guys. I'm sure Japan will probably take the rest of Korea now. Something like that wouldn't surprise me. Who's this? Occupy. Oh, Manila. If they get all of this, probably unlikely they'd get all of it, but if they did, that'd be a great peace deal for them. But obviously, I imagine over time these guys are going to start to take some chunks out of it. And then Delhi's going to get really strong too, so that's going to be quite an interesting sort of fight. In Asia, it looks like Japan, Ayutthaya, don't know how to say that one really, and Delhi. That'd be an interesting fight, and obviously there's a chance one of these guys does really well. At the moment it's Transoxiana in the lead to do it, but any of them could. They're fighting the Uzbek and Yarkand at the same time. That's quite impressive. Ryazan, like a little cockroach, just won't die. They seem to be colonising much faster than everyone else. Maybe they went down the expansion ideas group. I would love that if they'd done that, because they normally would probably never go down that. It's on the basis they don't colonise, but they're colonising at least one. How have they colonised so quickly? They did not have all these provinces. Maybe they killed somebody else. Oh yeah, Rostov was here and they just died. Okay, that makes sense. A little bit more sense. I was very confused for a moment. There are so many wars in Europe. Venice once again. Oof, that's a little bit worse for Venice. Brittany, Nevers and Savoy probably teaming up to do what's got to be done. And yeah, Venice will lose this one. Where is this one? That's a big war. It's in North America, South or Central America, so I have no idea who it's between. This one is Savoy attacking Provence, and they called in Brittany, Mantua and Nevers. Provence, Venice and Navarra. Navarra having a tough start. I thought they were going to do so well. It's not really gone their way. Yeah, that's pretty rough for Venice. This will be much harder than the previous wars. Let's have a look at that war in Central America, just because I imagine it's going to be a complete mess. Now, I have to guess someone who's in it. I think the Aztecs are in it, if I can find them. Okay, well, we got... There you go. It's sort of the central ones be the north and south. That's quite a war. I don't even know if Mexico is formable. That would be kind of cool. I assume then the natives can't form Mexico, because that wouldn't make sense. They wouldn't call it Mexico. They'd call it something else. They'd just call it whatever they're called individually. So yeah, I doubt we'd see a Mexico from one of them. But we could see like a Mexico, sort of something that is basically Mexico, but obviously isn't called Mexico. Okay, so Tyrone did lose that war, which means Thomond is most likely going to clean up the rest of Ireland. There's a few more nations. Desmond, Tyrone has one more province, Kildare. Desmond does have some good alliances. Norway, Kildare, yeah, that's going to be difficult. East Frisia as well, who've definitely got a role to play. Okay, now Wales is starting to get some love. Utrecht has arrived to complicate matters. The Frisia's not going to get all of it for free. But yeah, Thomond will probably form Ireland eventually. Yeah, Salzburg's growing. They've now got a 20 stack. Saxony's up to 17. It's a good sign. Good sign for people that don't want to see Venice just run away with it. They're only allied to Siena, who aren't doing that great. And, I mean, 12 stack's pretty good. And Navarra, who are currently, I think, struggling. There's a lot of exiled armies in there, so I don't really know. Serbia seem to have gotten away with no wars yet. They are allied to Nuremberg. Oh, I thought that was Salzburg. Is this Nuremberg? I mean, these guys have got 15 stack. That's not bad. Between you, you could at least like hold Venice back a little bit. Wouldn't be easy. But yeah, you could definitely put up a good fight. Oh, Crimea versus Genoa again. And this time Crimea is probably going to win. Anyone new on the list? No, still sort of similar looking list. Not a big change, but that is going to be it for this episode. So as always, if you have enjoyed, please do be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to leave a comment down below. And be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.